Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the episode of the series Learning Web Development in 2022. So in the last episode, which is called Introduction to HTML Part 1, we covered the basics of HTML tags. We talk about various HTML tags like headings, paragraphs, body tag, and callings, title, and the rest. Now on this episode, we are going to mainly focus on the input part of the HTML tags. This includes any element on a web page that could take a user's input. For example, we have the form element, which contains other input elements, and then we have the input element, which their types are text, number, radio button, checkbox, range, email, date, and button. So let's get started. Now, the next thing to do is to open your favorite code editor, which we are using VS Code, and then click on this icon that says new file, and then write the name of your file. So I'll go with index.html. So now I'll show you a quick trick. If you're using VS Code, all you have to do is like press shift and then 1 so that the exclamation mark will appear, and then you'll see an option like this. So choose the first one. Now this will create a quick HTML template for you. You don't have to like write all the HTML tags. This will create a very quick and easy setup for you. So let's get started by tapping the form element. Now the form element, as I said, contains other input elements. It's like a container that groups input elements section by section. Okay, and inside it we can add our input element, and then we close it. Now the input element has what we call a self-closing tag. It doesn't have another separate closing tag. It has a / in between it, that is before the greater than sign, and then it has properties called type. Now this type property will allow us to specify which kind of okay, so sorry for the delay. Now this is a basic HTML input element. You can type texts, numbers, or other symbols as well, and also yeah, basically that's all. And then it has other properties. For example, it has what they call a placeholder. Now if you are familiar with website, you'll know that a website input element has fields, right, that will tell you what that input element is about. For example, this is a placeholder called username. If you start typing, the placeholder will disappear because the placeholder is just there to explain to us what the input element should contain. And you can be able to add this using the placeholder property, and then using a string of any names. This can be email or whatever you want. Yeah, and then we have what we call the input type of number. Now this only accepts numbered characters, that is 1 2 3 4, and nothing else from 0 to 9. It cannot accept alphabets or other symbols, and you can optionally increase it or decrease it using the buttons by the side. And it also accepts a placeholder element. You can see numbers. Okay, and then the next input element we are going to cover is the email input. The type is email. Now this accepts only email addresses. This can be it can be text as well, but it has to contain a real email address, or else when submitting the form this will throw in an error. So let's complete it. johndoe@gmail.com. okay, now the next input element we are going to cover is the checkbox. You can see type checkbox. Now this is a checkbox. As you can see, we can use it to create, and we can use the label. The label show a text for checkbox. The label show a text to specify what an input element is all about. So we can say male, and then we can optionally add another checkbox, another label, and say female. Then we can add a checkbox, inputs, checkbox. Yeah, so basically this is what we have. Now you can optionally choose one of these, but As you can see, you cannot select both gender. You cannot be both male and female at the same time. So the best thing to use here is the radio button instead of the checkbox. So let's use the radio button. So we can move this checkbox up here and then add another input field and call it radio, and then change this checkbox to radio. Okay, now watch this. Now we have a radio button, but you can be able to select both fields at the same time. So how can we change this? We can go back here, right? And then on the property of the input field, we can say name equal to gender, and then we can give the other radio button a property name of gender as well, so that we can't select both radio buttons at the same time, since they are pointing out to one specific item or one specific stuff. And the next field we're going to talk about is the date. So you can say input type date. Now this will give us basic dates. We can choose any date format from it, and then we also have what they call date time local. Dates time local. This gives us a field for both dates and time, right? So basically that's all for now, and thank you for watching today's tutorial.